I was a single mom of 2 young boys when I learned that I was pregnant. I held an executive position in a major corporation at the time, and I felt that my career would be in jeopardy if anyone ever found out. Determined to follow the bent of my heart, I wanted to believe the abortion clinic worker who assured me that I was not carrying a baby, but a glob of tissue. She assured me that if I took care of it early enough, the procedure would be no different than removing a cyst. I was 8 weeks into my pregnancy. Following my abortion procedure, I left hurting physically, but feeling relieved and ready to put that bad experience behind me. In the year that followed, I found myself defending my choice, becoming angry with those who opposed abortion. I lived in persistent denial of my connections to abortion and the nightmares and the depression and the sense of worthlessness that I was experiencing almost daily. I found myself working more and more and leaving my boys with daycare much more than necessary. Oh, I still love them deeply, but I didn't feel worthy to be their mom. When I learned that I was pregnant yet again, because of my promiscuous lifestyle, I made an appointment, but at a different clinic. I felt ashamed. Once again, the clinic was full of women. This time, I listened to what others were saying, and I was surprised that I was not the only one coming in for a second abortion. In fact, some had had even more. I was asking if anyone else had nightmares when the counselor came into the room. I did get nods from others, meaning that they too had nightmares, but the conversation was nixed. The presentation was the same as before, assuring us that the doctor would be removing a blob of tissue. I was introduced to the doctor this time when he entered the procedure room. He seemed to be in a hurry, and this time the pain felt like a knife was ripping out my insides. Much worse than I remembered before. In the recovery room full of women, I began hemorrhaging heavily and I passed out. I woke to the doctor standing over me, yelling at his assistant. He was angry and he stormed away, shouting, "Give her some juice and a cracker and don't bother me again." I asked the assistant if I was okay because I certainly didn't feel okay. I lay there for 2 more hours before I felt I was okay enough to drive home. I left the abortion clinic emotionally scarred, so different from the first time. I felt like I had died on the inside. I cried all the way home and into the night. True sadness, sorrow, regret engulfed me. I began to research the development of babies in the womb and what the abortion procedure actually did to them. I was horrified. Nightmares of being dismembered continued and intensified. I was also experiencing tremendous lower back pain. A hysterectomy was recommended, and because of the damage done to my uterus, it was necessary for me to have the procedure. I was only 35 years old. In the years since, through heartbreaking prayer and counseling, I have made peace with God. I am so thankful for my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who has forgiven me, healed me, restored my life. I am 68 years old, and I can tell you I live with regret of my 2 abortions every single day. I committed to God that I would spend the rest of my life speaking truth about the issue of abortion so that babies would not have to die needlessly, and so other women would not suffer or live with regret as I do to this day. Now I know the truth, that there are pregnancy care centers across the country who will come alongside women and help them to make a life decision for their baby and a life decision for themselves as well. I encourage you to give your child and you a chance for life. This is a choice that you won't regret. Thank you.